name's Liz, I'm the baker that sews. Welcome to my channel if you're new, and welcome back if you are a subscriber. As always, it's really lovely to have you here as I share my sewing journey. So I'm back today with another episode of my Sunday sewing catch up, and we're on episode 32. Thank you so much for all the lovely kind messages that I got on my last two community tab posts, where I explained that I was really poorly and I was taking a couple of weeks off of my YouTube channel. I did run out of pre-recorded content, so it's been I think about a week and a bit since I released a video. So I where was I last? So my last Sunday sewing catch up, I think I was talking about the fact that the market was returning. So I did a market, I did a whole week of school, felt okay but tired by the end of the week, but that's normal. Baked pretty much until about midnight on the Friday for the market, did the market, and then Saturday afternoon I felt really like achy, had a headache and a little bit of a cough. Did a lateral flow test before the market, and I also did one when I got back from the market as well. And they came back negative, so I just thought I was exhausted, so I had a little nap. On the Sunday, I woke up completely aching from head to toe, hadn't slept well the night before either, and did another lateral flow and it came back positive straight away, so I had COVID. Completely floored me, wasn't expecting it to wipe me out as much as it did. I ended up spending just over a week in bed, just really achy, really tired, couldn't concentrate, coughing. My chest just felt really tight the whole time, and my head just felt like I had a head cold. So for about a week and a half I just couldn't do anything, and then slowly my energy started to come back, and I think it was like the Saturday before or the Sunday before I went back to work, I spent all day in bed. Thought I'm gonna have to have another week off work. Then I woke up the next day and it was like a switch. Slowly started to feel better, all the aching went, which was great. I still feel like I've got tightness on my chest, and I still feel like I've got a little bit of sort of a cold in my head, if that makes sense, but I am definitely much better than I was. So thank you so much for all of your kind messages, I really appreciate it. I have gone back to work, but I'm being really sensible and just making sure that I don't stay at work too late, and making sure that I have really early nights. So normally I go to bed about 10:30, 11, but I've been making sure that I'm in bed by 8:30, 9 o'clock, and asleep definitely by 9, just to make sure that I get lots and lots of sleep. I've not been taking on lots and lots of things like I normally do, so I've just been really trying to take it easy, and just being really sensible. So I'm back today with my Sunday sewing catch up, but I just wanted to say thank you so much for all your lovely kind messages and for all of your support. I've had loads of messages on Instagram and people just checking in with me. It's been really, really kind, so thank you. But I am back and I'm feeling slightly better. I'm still a bit croaky, so apologies about that, and if I have to stop and start this video, I am still getting sort of a little bit of a cough, but nothing like it was. So if it's a bit bitty, that's why. But I'm back. I'll let you know what I'm wearing, but I'm not going to go into too much detail about this because I'll talk about it when I share what I've been sewing. But this is sadly what I made for World Book Day, but I didn't actually get to wear it for World Book Day because I missed all of those celebrations at school, which I was really sad about. But I am going to have a week of wearing book themed outfits that I'm just going to do anyway, and take them to school with me, because I think the children would still love to see me wearing all of my book themed outfits. And they're not costumes, they're just garments that I've sewn that are sort of linked to books, so I am still going to do that. But yeah, this is using a cotton poplin. I can't remember where I got it from, but I'll put information in. It was a shop on Etsy. I think it was a shop that's in Whitby. But it's a cotton poplin and it's got these fish scales all over it. And I used the Friday Pattern Company Sagebrush top for the top half. And then I used the Tilly in the Buttons Indigo dress add-on pack for the bottom half. So I've created like a maxi dress. And then I decided, because the sagebrush is quite roomy and the indigo dress skirt is quite roomy, you can see it's really voluminous. I decided to add some waist ties, just to add a little bit of shaping. They're quite long because I wanted to be able to fasten them at the front and then tie a little bow there, and that just brings it in and adds just a little bit of shaping. And then I've got my slippers on, so apologies for that, but I don't know if you can see, I'll show you that in a second, but that is actually an iron-on transfer of the rainbow fish. And then I've got the ruffle at the bottom, so it sort of stops just at my ankle there. So I've got the sagebrush ruffle here. I've got the big voluminous sleeves with the elasticated sort of finish. And then at the back, I've got the keyhole opening with the bias binding tie. And then I did order a iron-on transfer from Etsy for the dress, but also to put on my Ilford patchwork rainbow fish jacket. Hasn't come out exactly how I wanted it to. They do recommend when you iron these on that you iron them onto a plain fabric, and both my jacket and my dress aren't plain fabric, but you can tell it's just very, very subtle. So I've got the rainbow fish. It's going to be really difficult to show you, but you can just see the outline of the rainbow fish there, just about. So this is my rainbow fish inspired dress. And then what I'd planned to do on World Book Day was wear my Ilford jacket as well, and then give out my scales, because I haven't done that yet. I haven't been well enough to do that at work yet, but I will be planning a whole week where I wear my book inspired outfits to school, including my rainbow fish dress and my rainbow fish Ilford jacket. So that is what I'm wearing. I have got some fabrics to share with you. I've got a couple of patterns that I want to talk about, what I've been sewing, a couple of challenges which you've probably heard about already, but I thought I'd let you know about them, and then what my sewing plans are. I've got a new fabric shop to me. Well, it's new to me. I know they've been going, they must have been going for a while because they've got quite a lot of following over on Instagram, and then a YouTube channel to share with you. So let's start with some fabrics. I've got a couple of viscose fabrics to share with you from Rainbow Fabrics. I'm just going to grab them. They're all on the floor next to me. So the first one, they're both viscose fabrics, and I got 3 meters of both of them. So this is the first one. It's on a dark background. I absolutely love the colours of those flowers. I think they're just really vibrant and they really pop against that dark background. They've got green leaves all over them and then sort of reds and purpley flowers. I just think that print is absolutely beautiful. I have no idea what I'm going to turn this into. I feel like it needs to be some kind of dress, like a wrap dress or something, because it's got a gorgeous amount of drape. I just love how that fabric moves. I don't know if they've got any of this fabric left because it was quite popular, but if they have, I'll link it down below. Otherwise, I'll just link Rainbow Fabrics for you. But that's the first one. And then the second one, I actually had to choose this one again because the first fabric I'd ordered, they sent me an email to say, although I'd paid for it and in theory it was in stock, when it came to processing the orders, they'd actually run out of it. So I had to go back on their website and choose a different fabric. But I feel like this is like a leopard print inspired fabric. It's a viscose again. It's got a gorgeous amount of drape, and I've got 3 meters of this fabric too. I love how much it moves. It's got a white background and then it's got sort of greys, blues, whites and black all over it. And I feel like it's like a leopard print sort of effect. It reminds me of like a snow leopard. So again, I have no idea what to turn this into, but I feel like it needs to be something that's going to celebrate that beautiful movement of the fabric. And I've got 3 meters, so quite a lot of fabric to play around with. So do let me know if you've got suggestions for what to turn these 2 fabrics into. I'd really love to hear your ideas. And then the next fabric I wanted to share with you today is a fabric that I've got as part of my work with Abercorn Fabrics. And this is a organic cotton jersey fabric. I've got 3 meters of this fabric, so I'm going to turn it into the hack that I did of the Tilly and the Buttons pearl cardigan, where I turned it into a maxi dress with ruffles going down the front and back and a ruffle on the skirt. So I've got 3 meters of this fabric because that's how much I need to make my hack of the pearl cardigan. It's on a mustard background, and I fell in love with this pattern and this fabric because of the pattern. I just love all of those florals all over it. Reminds me of like peonies and roses. I think they're just absolutely gorgeous, and it screams spring to me. And I think that's just going to make the most beautiful, snuggly, cozy maxi dress with lots of ruffles all over it. So I'm really excited about turning that into that dress. I had plans to film sort of a sew along tutorial on how I created my hack of the pearl cardigan and turned it into a dress. I am still going to do that. It's just I've had a couple of weeks where I just haven't really been up to filming at all. So I'm a little bit behind where I wanted to be. So I promise it is on its way. I've got a couple of pieces of jersey fabric that I'm going to turn into that hack of the pearl cardigan. So I'm definitely going to do like a sew along / tutorial on how I created that dress and how to draft those pattern pieces as well. So that's what this fabric is going going to become. This was given to me as part of my ambassador role with Abercorn Fabrics. And then I've got a tiny little scrap of this fabric because I've actually already turned it into something which I'm going to share in this video. But I wanted to talk about this fabric because it's absolutely gorgeous. It's an activewear fabric that I got from So Me Sunshine, and it's called Bubblegum, and I just love the print and I love the colours, and I love how gorgeously soft this feels as well, whilst also feeling like it's a really secure activewear fabric. So as you can see, I've only got a scrap left of this fabric. I bought 1 metre of it because I knew that I wanted to turn it into the Sew Over It Huby leggings, and that's exactly what I've done with it. And I've got a tiny bit left, so I'm not quite sure. I mean, that's how much I've got left. I don't know what I'd be able to do with the leftovers of the fabric, but I'm sure I'll be able to figure something out. But how fun is that print? It's like a marble effect print, and it's pastel-y. I don't think they've got any of this left, but if they have, I'll link it below. Otherwise, I'll just link their website because they've got some gorgeous activewear fabric. And this is just perfect for a pair of leggings. And I thought my class would love a pair of leggings in these. And I have worn them to school and they did absolutely love them. I had lots of stroking of my legs and saying that they loved my leggings too. Really, really fun print. Lots of people sent me a screenshot of this fabric on Instagram. So thank you to everybody that told me about this fabulous fabric. I'm really pleased that I was able to get 1 metre of it and turn it into some leggings. Actually, the leggings was one of the first things that I felt up to sewing when I finally got back to my sewing machine, because whilst I've been poorly, I haven't been doing any sewing at all, which has made me feel really sad because I love sewing. So then that takes me on to patterns that I wanted to talk about today. So I've got a pattern that it's not a new pattern, but it's new to me, and then I've got a new pattern that has just been released. Okay, the first pattern I wanted to talk about is a pattern by True Bias. I've been looking for the perfect spring trousers pattern. I've got loads of patterns. I always talk about having loads of patterns, but I haven't really come across the perfect trouser pattern. And I've seen a couple of beautiful versions of this pattern over on Instagram, which made me instantly sold that I needed this pattern. I've probably got a pattern in my stash that's similar, but it is True Bias Emerson pants and shorts. I just love this style of trousers, and I think it's perfect for the spring/summer. So they describe it as a pull-on crop pant or shorts with an elasticized back and a flat front waistband. Views A and B have a mid-rise that sits just below the natural waist, but which is the most comfortable fit for me. And because I have IBS, if I have anything that stops above my belly button, quite often it feels quite uncomfortable when it's squishing my tummy. So I'll probably go with view A, which sits below the natural waist, and then views C and D have a high rise that sits over the belly button. All views have front pleats and side pockets, and I love the pleat detail. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. It's so beautiful. And views A and C are cropped wide leg pant hitting a couple of inches above the ankle. I love this finish with the sandals. I think it's just such a cute look. And then views B and D are a shorts with an approximate 4-inch inseam. So these are the line drawings. I think they look really lovely. So the different rises, that's the difference in the two at the top and the bottom. And then, yeah, you can turn it into a shorts as well, which I think will be perfect for the summer if we get some lovely sunshine over the summer. I've got the paper pattern. It comes in sizes 0 to 18. So for a size 0, it's a 32-inch chest measurement, 26-inch waist measurement, and 34-inch hip measurement. And then for an 18, it's a 44.5-inch chest measurement, 38.5-inch waist measurement, and 46.5-inch hip measurement. In terms of fabrics, they recommend light to medium weight woven fabrics like a linen, a cotton, a rayon challis, and a chambray. And I've got some chambray and some linen in my stash, which I think would work perfectly for some trousers. And I'm actually planning some plain versions of the Emerson pants. So I just thought I'd let you know about that. Please let me know if you have sewn this pattern up before. It's new to me, but I've seen some beautiful versions recently, which is what made me become more aware of the pattern. So I'm looking forward to giving that a try, and hopefully I'll have some plain pairs of trousers for my spring/summer wardrobe. And then the next pattern that I wanted to talk about is a new pattern by the New Craft House. So they've just brought out a couple of their own patterns. There's a waistcoat, there's the everyday jeans, and there's the everyday pants, and there's a couple of men's patterns there as well. I've got quite a few jeans patterns, so I haven't felt the need to buy their jeans yet, but I have seen some beautiful tester versions. And their everyday pants look lovely, but I just bought the Emerson pants, so I don't feel like I need to get those yet. But the pattern that did catch my eye was their waistcoat pattern. So it's a waistcoat pattern which is for women, or there's a separate men's pattern as well. So the women's everyday waistcoat comes in sizes 6 to 34, and then the men's waistcoat comes in 28 to 42, comes in sizes 28 to 42, which is a chest range 34 inches to 48 inches. For the women's everyday waistcoat, for a size 6, it's a 24-inch waist and a 31-inch chest. And then for a 34, it's a 51.5-inch waist and a 58.75-inch chest. I've seen some gorgeous versions of it already. They describe it as the perfect addition to a me-made wardrobe. And they also suggest that you experiment with patchwork or quilting, which is something that I've been really enjoying playing around with at the moment. So I've seen some beautiful tester versions. I haven't got a waistcoat pattern in my stash, so it's a completely new style of pattern to me. It's something that I have been looking into, and actually my husband has asked me to make him a waistcoat as well. So I have bought the men's pattern as well as the women's pattern. So I'm looking forward to giving that a little bit of a try. In terms of how much fabric you need for the waistcoat, it's between 1.2 metres and 1.6 metres of fabric. You also need some lining fabric and some wadding. So it's going to be a new type of pattern for me to sew up, so I'm looking forward to challenging myself in that way. And I think I could make some really cute waistcoats to go with some of my like puff sleeved blouses. I think that would look really cute, and I really love how they've styled the waistcoat on the different models as well. I'll put some images in because I haven't actually got the pattern printed yet. I've sent it off, so I can't show you the pictures, but I'll put some images in so you can see what they look like. They've also released an everyday jeans pattern, which comes in the same sizes, so 6 to 34. And then there's also the everyday trousers, which is a men and women's pattern. You have to buy the pattern separately for the men and the women. And for the women, the everyday trousers come in a 6 to 34. And for men, it's a 28 to 42 with a hip range of 34 inches to 48 inches. I really love the look of their patterns. I love the styling of them as well. So if you haven't seen them, I'll link them down below so you can go and check them out. But I'm very excited about trying the waistcoat pattern. And then the other pattern I wanted to talk about is a pattern I've mentioned here and there in my videos, but my blog post hadn't gone live on Felicity Fabrics. But it's a pattern by Swim Style Patterns, and it's called the Lara Loungewear. I'll put an image in of what it looks like. But it's essentially a relaxed fit loungewear pattern. It's an oversized t-shirt and some shorts, and it's described as a boyfriend fit style pattern. And it's sort of the ideal crossover between style and comfort, and they are so comfortable. So I have got my version here that I can share with you, and I'll put some pictures in of me wearing them as well. The pictures I really struggled with taking because they're a shorts loungewear. I don't like my knees. I've got psoriasis on my knees and they're quite knobbly. So I always feel quite self-conscious of showing my knees and my legs. So I did find it quite difficult to get photos, but I did manage to get some photos in the end that I was happy with. Pushed myself out of my comfort zone. So I'll put some pictures in so you can see. And I'll talk about the sizing of the pattern in a second, but this is my version. So I use this gorgeous cotton jersey fabric from Felicity Fabrics, and then I put a label in. This was one of the Kylie in the Machine labels, which says eat, sleep, sew, which I thought was perfect because quite often I'll put loungewear on if I'm doing some sewing, especially if there's some fitting involved. So it's quite an oversized t-shirt. It's creased because I've worn this absolutely loads. And then these are the shorts, which are super cute. And again, I put another label in here that says handmade. So there's a hand and then it says made. So those are the shorts. They're elasticated and they're quite a cropped short. So you can see they're quite a cropped short. They're very, very short. But that's what they look like. Really, really comfortable. And they were a really enjoyable sew. They sewed up really quickly and quite easily. Predominantly made on my overlocker, but then I top stitched and hemmed on my fast sewing machine. In terms of sizes, they come in extra small to extra, extra, extra large. So for an extra small, it's a 32-inch bust measurement, 25-inch waist measurement, and 34.5-inch hip measurement. And then for an extra, extra, extra large, it's a 44-inch bust measurement, 36-inch waist measurement, and 46-inch hip measurement. In terms of recommended fabrics, any type of stretch fabric, and they suggest particularly a rib knit, although I used a cotton jersey and that makes it really comfortable and super cozy. So I just wanted to let you know about that pattern as well. Anything I talk about in this video, I will make sure I link down below in the description. So on to what I've been sewing. So I'll talk about this one first, although I've talked about it a little bit at the start of this video, but I used the sagebrush top and then I used the indigo dress. And what I did with the sagebrush top to work out where I wanted the top part to finish is I held up the pattern piece against my body and worked out where my natural waist would be, and then just made sure that I added enough of a seam allowance on there to make sure that I could join the skirt and the top without taking away any length for where I wanted the top to finish. And then I created some waist ties to stitch into the side seam so that I could bring it in at that join. So the join, you can't see because it's a really busy fabric, but the join is here, and that's exactly where the ties sit. And it creates sort of a little bit of blousiness on the top, but it brings that dress in because it is really voluminous, and it creates a little bit more gathering on the skirt as well. So I really like the way that the waist ties come in. So if I undo the waist ties, sorry, I can't talk, you'll be able to see. So what I did was I measured the pattern on me, starting at my shoulder, going all the way down to where my natural waist is, which is here. And then I just added sort of a centimetre on to make sure that I had enough seam allowance to attach the top to the skirt. And then I drafted some waist tie pattern pieces. I just cut rectangles mainly, and then I can fasten that around. I used all of the pattern pieces for the sagebrush, including those lovely voluminous sleeves and the ruffle. And then it's also got the yoke on the back, although you can't tell because it's quite a busy fabric. And then I just used the skirt pattern piece for the indigo, including that lovely ruffle on the hem. Sewed up the sagebrush as you would normally, and then sewed up the skirt of the indigo as you would normally, and then I just attached them, making sure that I sandwiched in the waist ties on the side seams. And like I said, I had planned to wear this to school for World Book Day, but sadly I wasn't in when it was World Book Day. So I'll just have to make sure that I wear it another time with my Ilford jacket. So that's the first thing that I've sewn up over the last sort of couple of weeks. I feel like it's like 3 weeks of me sort of all the sewing things that I've got sewn up. I haven't been sewing as much as I would usually, just because I haven't had the energy levels for it. So that's the first thing that I've sewn up. And then I've got my Sabina skirt that I talked about. So this is a pattern by the Little Pomegranate. It's a free pattern. I've sewn one version of this already, and then I had this cut out, I think, at my last Sunday sewing catch-up video. So it's got these slanted pockets, it's an elasticated waist, and then you've got this gorgeous ruffle on the bottom. So it's like a midi length skirt. I'm really pleased that I've managed to get this sewn up. I've worn it quite a few times to work as well. I like having pockets and things when I go to school, just because the children give me things all the time. It's quite handy to be able to shove things in my pocket if I'm not on my desk or I'm not somewhere where I can pop it down. So that's why I like things with pockets, especially if I'm going to wear it to school. So that is the skirt. So it's a free pattern by the Little Pomegranate. It's aimed at beginners, and it comes in sizes UK 6 to UK 34, and it's a skirt pattern for woven fabrics. And it's sort of a midi length, and it's got this gorgeous ruffle on the bottom. I love how it's been styled here with that jumper sort of tucked in. It works really nicely with the jumper tucked in. I've been wearing my Sabina skirts with the pearl cardigan, so it works really nicely with a wrap cardigan as well, and just tied at the side with those voluminous balloon sleeves. I'd highly recommend this pattern. Here's a line drawing for you to see. It comes together really nicely. It's a really enjoyable sew as well. And it works really well in lots of different fabrics. So they recommend light to medium weight woven fabrics, like cotton, lawn, poplin, shirting, seersucker and linen, if it's your first time sewing up the skirt or you're a beginner sewer. And then more drapey fabrics like a viscose rayon, tencel twill and crepe give a more floaty, fluid skirt. A little bit trickier to sew, but the results are definitely worth a little bit of extra effort. In terms of sizes, for a UK 6, it's a 25-inch waist measurement and a 34.5-inch hip measurement. And then for a 34, it's a 51.5-inch waist measurement and 61-inch hip measurement. So I'm really pleased that I've got that skirt sewn up. I've worn it loads and loads already, and I can see it being a firm favourite in my wardrobe. I've definitely got more of the Sabina skirt planned in the future. And then the next thing I wanted to talk about, I'm really proud of this make. I've been talking about this for ages because it was part of my ambassador role with Backstitch. And I have been sewing up the I Am Sunshine jeans in this gorgeous animal print corduroy, and here they are. I managed to get them finished and I'm so pleased. So I did a toile, which I've talked about, and I am filming a separate video where I talk about all the different tweaks that I had to make following on from my toile, because I did have to adjust the pattern pieces ever so slightly. I ended up taking out of the yoke, the back yoke and the waistband. I ended up taking out of the inseam and the outside seams as well. And then I had to just do a few little tweaks. I'm really pleased with how they turned out. I've written my blog post for Backstitch now, and it's live over on their website, so I'll link it down below so you can go and give it a read, because I go into more detail in the blog about how I got on with the pattern and how I got on with fitting as well. This fabric has sadly sold out on Backstitch, on the Backstitch website, but they have got loads of other corduroy, and it's a really comfortable pair of jeans. I really love this fabric. I think it's really fun. What I decided to do with the top stitching was, only in certain places I decided to use a contrast top stitching. You can't actually see it very well because this fabric's so busy, but I went with a pink top stitching, so on the back pockets, and there's other areas like the fly, not that you can tell because it's so busy, but I used a pink top stitching. You've got the waistband and I've got the belt loops. In terms of construction, these came together really nicely. I have been so scared about sewing up jeans, but actually they were a really enjoyable sew. They've got a blog, step-by-step blog, to help you over on their website as well. I think it helped that I feel like I'm quite a confident sewist, so I would describe myself as an intermediate sewist. So in terms of constructing the zip fly, it came together really simply. There was no head scratching moment for me. Their instructions, although their booklet doesn't seem like it's got loads and loads of information in it, and I think I've talked about that before, they did hold your hand every step of the way, and there were clear images within the booklet, so I would recommend them as a pattern. There's my zip fly, and I'm really thrilled with my zip fly. It's really neat. The fly covers up the zip beautifully, and the zip went in really nicely as well. I'm really pleased with the fit. I think it really paid off that I did a toile for the jeans, and I practiced and tweaked that toile until I was really pleased with the fit. So I'll put in images of the jeans on me so you can see what they look like, but do head over to the Backstitch blog so you can check out how I got on sewing up the I Am Sunshine jeans in a bit more detail, and I'll stand up so you can see what they look like. But there they are. I went for the balloon shape jeans. I will say next time I sew them, I am going to add a little bit of length to them because they're ever so slightly cropped. They stop just above my ankle, and then that's what the back looks like. So we've got pockets on the back, we've got pockets on the front. I've got a little coin pocket here, which was my first time sewing in a coin pocket, and then I've also got rivets on the jeans as well, and that was my first time sewing, or not sewing, but adding rivets to things. And then I've got my jeans button, and I've got the jeans button, the rivets and the zip from Backstitch as well. They've got all of the haberdashery items that you need to sew up a pair of jeans. So I'm thrilled with that. I am bringing out another video that talks in more detail about the fitting and how I got on sewing zip fly, and also the toile and my outcome of the toile as well. So watch out for that video. That'll come out probably in a couple of weeks. But yeah, I'm really pleased with them. I've worn them a couple of times already, and I'm definitely going to make another pair of I Am Sunshine jeans. I think I might make them in a black denim because that will go with quite a lot of things that I've sewn up on my wardrobe recently. And then that takes me on to two tops that I talked about sewing up, and I think these would go really nicely with a pair of plain jeans. I am drawn to patterns, but it does mean that when I've got pattern tops and things, they don't go together, although I could embrace pattern clashing. Anyway, I had scraps of this gorgeous jacquard viscose fabric that I got from Rainbow Fabrics, and I used the fabric to sew up a Anthea blouse, an Anna Allen Anthea blouse for a friend for her birthday. And then I was really pleased when I worked out that I had just enough to sew myself a top. So I used the Sagebrush, Friday Pattern Company Sagebrush top, and I've sewn up a top for myself using this gorgeous jacquard viscose. So it's got that texture of a jacquard. It's on a green background, and it's got these gorgeous bright orange flowers. Now, to make sure that I could squeeze it out of the scrap, because I had like a higgledy-piggledy piece of fabric, which was slightly longer than a metre, but it had chunks of fabric missing where I'd cut out the other top. So I did have to cut out the yoke, the front yoke, as two separate pieces. You're meant to cut it on the fold. So there is a line that goes down here, but to be honest, unless I pointed it out, you wouldn't know that it was there because the fabric's quite busy. And then I've got that lovely ruffle along the front, and then on the back we've got the bias finished neckline, which ties to create that little lovely keyhole opening. And then you've got the yoke on the back as well, and then you've got these gorgeous sleeves that are finished with elastic on the end. So I'm really pleased with that top as well. And that's going to go with quite a lot of things that I've got in my wardrobe. I've got a few pairs of dungarees that I think this will go with. I've got a couple of skirts and pinafores that I think this will go with as well. And then I had a scrap of this. I can't remember what I'd used, the main, oh no, maybe I just had a metre of this. I think this might have been a remnant actually, because I only had a metre of this, but it was a really wide fabric. So I was able to sew up an Anna Allen Anthea blouse using this gorgeous fabric. And this is a crepe fabric. I absolutely love the colours. It's like a turquoisey green, and then it's got these beautiful birds, peacocks all over it, and then flowers all over it. So I used some buttons that I got from, where did I get these from? Rainbow Fabrics. They're quite vintagey, and I'm really pleased with this blouse as well. I think this is going to go with quite a lot of things I've got in my wardrobe. So it's got that curved hem, got the buttons all the way down here, the gorgeous sleeves, which I absolutely love, that are finished with this beautiful cuff as well. I just think it's absolutely beautiful. And I just really love that print. I'd had this remnant in my stash for ages and I really wasn't sure what to turn it into. But I think the Anthea blouse really showcases that beautiful print with the flowers and the birds. I just think it's really stunning. So I'm really pleased that I've turned that fabric that's been sat in my stash for years into a wearable garment that I know is going to go with lots of things that I've got in my wardrobe. So I'm excited about that. And then the final thing that I've been sewing up is the Huby leggings that I talked about. So here they are. I absolutely love the Huby leggings. It's a pattern that I've sewn up. I've probably sewn about 8 pairs of Huby leggings. And I like to rotate the leggings for school. So I wear a different one across like a half term. And I wore these to work on Wednesday. So the waistband, you can either cut, so you cut your front, a back, and then it's lined, so you've got a front and a back on the inside as well. Or there's the option to colour block the waistband. I've never done that because I've always just wanted to showcase the beautiful fabrics, but yeah, the waistband is lined. And then the trouser leg pattern piece is a really wide pattern piece, and you cut each leg as one piece so that you don't have that side seam. So it makes them really, really comfortable as leggings. You've just got the inseam, you don't have an outside seam. Really interesting construction. It means that they come together really quickly. I think I sewed these up in about an hour. So they come together really nicely. And then I've sewn in a label that says made of stars, which I really love. So this is what the leggings look like. I'll hold them up. That's the front and that's the back. They're a very slim fit legging, which I really like. And this fabric is just really fun. It's a sew over it pattern, so I'll put information in the description below for you about the pattern. But that was something that I enjoyed sewing up whilst I was still getting better. It was the first thing that I sewed up. So I probably really smile looking at these leggings, not just because of the pattern, but because it was a signal of me feeling much, much better than I had been feeling. So I'm really pleased with my Huby leggings. So that's everything that I've been sewing over the last couple of weeks, and I have got some sewing plans for the next couple of weeks, which I'll talk about at the end of this video. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about in this video today was a couple of challenges that are currently running over on Instagram. So the first challenge I wanted to talk about is run by the lovely Jess, who is So What If I Sew over on Instagram. She ran this challenge last year and she's running it again, and it's there's a hashtag which is So Yellow for Endo, and it's all about raising awareness of endometriosis. So she's been doing a couple of Instagram lives, which have been really interesting to watch and listen to. And then she's also running a Just Giving page for raising money for endometriosis. So there's a link in her bio over on Instagram. I'll link her page down below if you don't follow her, but I'm sure that you do. So the idea behind it is that we sew a yellow or partially yellow garment or outfit in March, and then we show it off. There's a specific date that Jess would like us to share our So Yellow for Endo garment or partially yellow outfit over on Instagram. The hashtag is hashtag So Yellow for Endo. We need to tag her in the post She's encouraging us to donate £1 using her Just Giving page, which is in her bio. And then also sharing a fact or something that you've learned about endometriosis throughout the month of March and the awareness of endometriosis, or our favourite part of Endometriosis Awareness Month. So I've got quite a few fabrics that I've dug out, and I've got a couple of fabrics that I've been buying that I would really like to get sewn up. I'm quite far behind taking part in this challenge, so I'm not sure if I'm going to actually get there in time, but I think I will still sew up my yellow garments and share them, even if I miss them, because I've had a couple of weeks of being poorly and not really being up to sewing anything new. I haven't sewn the things that I did want to sew up, sadly, but hopefully I'll get a chance to still sew them up. So I've got a jersey fabric from Abercon that I shared at the beginning of this video that I'd like to get sewn up as part of this challenge. And I've got a couple of fabrics that have got speckles of yellow, or they've got a print on them that are yellow. So they're not predominantly yellow, but there are aspects of yellow that I would really like to sew up. So there are prizes for the challenge as well. The winners are going to be chosen at random. So if you haven't heard of the challenge, do go and check out Jess over on Instagram, and she shares lots and lots of information about the Sew Yellow for Endo challenge. And then the second challenge is a challenge run by Jen, who is Jen Leg Tees Creatives over on Instagram. And then Charlene, who is So Dressmaking. I'm sure you follow them both over on Instagram because they both make the most beautiful garments. But they ran this challenge last year, and it was a really fun challenge to be part of, and really inspiring. But it's a challenge where we're encouraged to recreate a look that we've been inspired by. So the hashtag is #SoRecreateTheLook. There are 4 weeks with a prompt each week for you to take part. So again, I'm behind on taking part in this as well because I was poorly. But week 1 is around sharing your inspiration. And I've kind of talked about my inspiration for this challenge anyway, because I've shared in the last couple of Sunday Sewing catch-ups that I want to make some Yanta overalls inspired by a Lucian Yak image, which I'll put in now. And I want to sew up a white blouse inspired by this image, and also a little Ilford jacket inspired by this image. So week 1 was the 28th of February to the 6th of March, so I've missed that, but hopefully I can catch up. And that was an opportunity to share your inspiration. Week 2 is running at the moment, so the 7th to the 13th of March, and that's an opportunity for us to share the fabric and patterns that we're going to be using to recreate the look that we've been inspired by. Week 3 is next week, so it's progress or a sneak peek. So that's the 14th to 20th of March. And then week 4 is the reveal week. So we're being asked to reveal our recreate the look on the 26th of March, or that week. There's a hashtag So Recreate the Look. There are discounts, so do go and check out Jen and Charlene. Check out their Instagram pages because they have shared some discounts for different shops, fabric shops and patterns. And then there will also be some prizes as well. So my inspiration is going to be the look that I've shared already, the Lucian Yak dungarees. They're like a floral dungarees, and then there's also a white blouse that the model is wearing, and they're also wearing like a shacket type jacket that looks like it's in a corduroy. So I've got sort of a brownie coloured corduroy that I got from Rainbow Fabrics. I've got some brushed cotton that's floral on a mustard background that I got from Abercon Fabrics. And then I've got some white cotton that I got from Abercon Fabrics as well. So I'm going to use the Yanta overalls, which is a Helen's Closet pattern for the overalls. I'm going to use the Ilford jacket, which is a Friday Pattern Company pattern for the shacket type sort of look. And then for the blouse, I'm umming and ahhing about whether I should use the Nina Lee Bakerloo blouse because that's got the collar. It's quite tricky to see on the image that I've got, but the blouse that they're wearing has got sort of a smaller collar. So whether I use the Bakerloo blouse, but I just make the collar smaller, because the blouse has also got this gorgeous sort of gather on the cuff, and I know that the Bakerloo blouse has got that gathering in the cuff, or the Byhan London Marie shirt and shirt dress. So those are my 2 sort of thoughts behind which shirt and blouse pattern I would use. I really love the look of the Marie shirt and shirt dress, so I'm considering that as an option for sewing up the white blouse as well. It's got these gorgeous pin tucks in, and I just think it's such a gorgeous blouse, and I haven't sewn that blouse up yet since I bought the pattern. So I'm not sure which blouse I'm going to go for in terms of trying to recreate that blouse pattern. I feel like the Bakerloo has got more features of the actual inspiration from the Lucian Yak image, but I am really keen to sew up the By Hand London Marie shirt as well, but I could just use a different fabric to sew up that pattern. So those are my thoughts around the Sew Recreate the Look. Do let me know in the comments below if you're taking part in either of those challenges and what your inspiration is for Sew Recreate the Look if you're planning to take part. So that brings me on to my sewing plans. So I've got a couple of sewing plans. I'm in the process of filming my tutorial for the pearl hack, turning it into the maxi dress. So that's one of my sewing plans. I've got a couple of fabrics that I'm going to turn into that. So I've got the jersey that I shared, which is, where have I put it? I think it's over here. So I've got this gorgeous jersey that I'm going to turn into the pearl hack. And then I've got this fabric that I got from Sew Me Sunshine, which I'm going to turn into the pearl hack as well. I'm in the process of sewing up, spurred on by my success with my I Am Sunshine jeans. I've got some Persephone trousers, which are an Anna Allen pattern. I'll just grab them actually. I've got some Persephone trousers in this gorgeous linen fabric that I got from Like So Amazing a couple of years ago, and I've got them cut out. They've been cut out for absolutely ages. I'd probably say over half a year ago. But I was quite scared of the fly detail on them and also the fitting. But my success of the I Am Sunshine jeans has encouraged me to get that out and have a go at working on that, work in progress. So that's what I'm planning to do over the next couple of weeks. The white shirt, which I said I cannot decide which pattern to go for, either the Marie shirt or the Bakerloo blouse. So please let me know in the comments below which one you would go for. And then I'm also going to be sewing up the Ilford jacket using the brown corduroy fabric that I've got, because I want to get that finished for the Sew Recreate the Look. Because I've had that image in my head for so long. I want to get the shirt sewn up, the jacket and the blouse sewn up. So that's going to keep me busy for the next couple of weeks, I think. So those are my sewing plans, which I'm really excited about. And then I wanted to talk about a fabric shop. So it's a new fabric shop to me. It's called Jenny Stitches Fabrics. So they're over on Instagram. I can't remember who it was. Somebody shared an image from it, or maybe it popped up. I can't remember how I saw it, but I saw it anyway over on Instagram. So it's called Jenny Stitches Fabrics. They've got loads of beautiful fabrics, and the fabric that caught my eye was this gorgeous velour corduroy in a plum colourway. It's the fabric that I've been searching for ages. I've wanted like a lilac corduroy, and this popped up on my feed, and I thought that is the colour that I've been looking for in a corduroy fabric. So I went over to their website and I've bought 2 meters, and I'm going to turn it into some Yanta overalls because I just love that pattern, and I've wanted a pair of lilac Yanta overalls in a chunky corduroy for absolutely ages. So I think this fabric is going to be the fabric that I've been searching for. So I'll link the shop down below if you haven't heard of them, but they're called Jenny Stitches Fabrics, just in case you haven't checked them out yet. I would encourage you to go and have a look at their gorgeous fabrics that they've got on their website. And then finally, before I finish this video, I've got a YouTube channel that I thought I'd share with you, and it's the lovely Becky, who is Go So Beautiful over on YouTube. She shares blogs about beautiful stylish clothing and home decor, and her aim is to teach new sewists the art of sewing and provide some inspiration. So I had a look on her YouTube. I've watched a couple of her videos. She's got a really lovely relaxed manner about her videos, and she's just really enjoyable to watch. She's got some pattern reviews over there, her favourite dresses. She does a few sew-alongs. She's got sewing plans, and she also takes part in the Friday Sews vlogs as well. So there's quite a lot of vlogs over on Becky's channel, Go So Beautiful. If you're looking for somebody else to watch sewing vlogs and get some inspiration, I definitely recommend giving her a follow over on YouTube. So that was everything that I wanted to share in this week's Sunday Sewing Catch Up. Again, I just wanted to say thank you so much for all your kind messages and for just bearing with me whilst I felt better. I'm back and I'm raring to go, and I've got lots of ideas for videos. Please just bear with me for some of the videos that I've talked about already, because I am behind schedule because I took a couple of weeks off. If you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, it'd be really great if you could hit that subscribe button, because you'll get notified of when I bring out my next video. Thank you as always for watching. Take care, and I'll be back soon. Bye.